Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Now, I'm sure some of you have been waiting for this. I've just nipped upstairs to get a different t-shirt on because this is filmed at the same time as the other Q&A. And yeah, I'm sure some of you, because you love Q&As, lots of you guys, you're so nosy. No, I love it. I just thought, let's continue the Q&A. These always take far longer than I thought because I just don't shut up. Anyway, so where did we get to? What is now your favourite part of living in the north? I don't know, do you know what, guys? This is a controversial opinion for Brits. I don't think there's that much difference between north and south. There's so much competition between the north and south. I'd say more from the north. Like, the north is obsessed with, like, we're northern, we're different from the south. And I would say, as southerners, we just don't think about that. Like, we just live our lives. Like, we've never really felt that competition. But up north, it's a really strong thing, like northern identity, which I can't relate to because I've never met anyone who's like, yeah, I'm southern. Like, they just don't do that. But they're not actually that different. Like, there are little differences between, like, friendliness. Like, people tend to be friendlier up north, and down south they're a little bit more like, I don't know, like me, like a bit like, don't talk to me. But on the whole, like, life is, like, it's a bit cheaper up here. Like, properties are a lot cheaper up here. There's loads of lovely countryside, but then there's loads of lovely countryside down south as well. So yeah, I would say that they're not actually that different. But in terms of what I like about my life up north, I love going on the walks, the rolling countryside, the rolling Yorkshire hills with the stone-built walls. We don't really have stone walls down south. Like, they're normally built with brick or like wooden fences. The dry stone walls are very northern, they're very Yorkshire. So yeah, I love that, and I love the cows as well. What is your go-to soothing ritual when life gets very demanding? A walk is one of them, definitely. When I was having therapy, I said to my therapist, I was like, when I get stressed, I just have to go for a walk. Like, I can't sit still, I can't watch TV, I can't do anything. I just have to get out of the house, and I just think it's a really bad coping mechanism. Like, I should be able to sit with my feelings. And she was like, no, but there's a reason you do that, because when you walk, you activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which basically calms you down. And that's obviously why. And she was like, that's a good thing that you're doing that, because I would always advise clients of mine to, when they're stressed, go for a walk, because that would help. So you're already doing that. And I was like, okay, but I still can't sit with my feelings. And that is still something that I can't do and I need to work on. And then I ghosted my therapist. I don't know if I told you that. I just, like, ignored her, paid her for the missed session, and was like, I'm not coming back. And she was like, okay, we need like a final session just so I can do my duty of care to you. And I just ignored her. I'm not proud of that, guys. Like, it's literally a really bad thing. That's obviously why I need therapy. But yeah, a walk, I love walk. I love just self-care in general, looking after myself. So I will have a shower or a bath. I'll do lots of skincare regimes. I will make some nice food or something, and I'll just try and look after myself. Any more holiday plans? Yes, so at the moment, 3 holiday plans until over the next sort of 6 months-ish. So the next one is next week. Keegan and I are going to Edinburgh. And I had another question about this. Someone said, are you going to Edinburgh Fringe this year? Yes, I am. I'm going next week with Keegan. I'm really, really excited. By the time you see this video, I will have already been. But there will be some Edinburgh vlogs coming soon. I love Edinburgh. It's like my favourite place on earth. I just now, even though I've been more times without Keegan than with Keegan, I just now forever associate it as mine and Keegan's place, because it was my favourite thing we did last year, me and Keegan together. It was just amazing. Going to watch shows, having drinks, having food, going from show to show. Like, we did some cultural things. We went to Holyrood House, we went to Edinburgh Castle. Like, it was just the most fun. So this time we're going for an extra day. And yeah, we've already started booking shows as well. We're so organised. So that is next week. In October into November, Keegan and I are going to New York and then somewhere else with 2 of our friends, Anthony and Peter. So we're going to celebrate Peter's 40th birthday, which is going to be really, really fun. I say somewhere else, not because I'm being secretive, because I just don't know. Initially, the plan was to go to New York for 3 days, then down to Mexico for a week, then back to New York for 3 days, then home. But I think they would like to do something else, so we will see. And then in February, Keegan and I are going back to Florida to my parents' house on a holiday, just a couple's holiday. We'll be going without the kids this time, and that will truly be our first ever holiday abroad of just me and Keegan. We've never, by that time we'll have been together nearly 2 years, and that'll be our first holiday of just me and him. Obviously we've done UK breaks together, but that'll be our first time going solo, just me and him, so that'll be fun. Do you get a little annoyed that most of the questions you now get are about Keegan and not you? Well, no, like, firstly, I don't think the questions are mainly about Keegan, but no, because I love Keegan and he is a huge part of my life, so I love chatting about, well, not about him, but about us and, you know, plans and stuff. So, no, doesn't annoy me. Do you think that you and Keegan would ever adopt a child together? Absolutely not. Never. No, we don't want kids. Like, I don't want kids. He doesn't want any more kids. He's adamant that he does not want another child. Ever, 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 ever. So, that's him. From my perspective, I think if I was with a partner who went, I really want to have a child, I would go, okay, like I'd think about it for a bit, but I go, yeah, okay. Equally, if I'm with a partner like I am, who goes, I never want children, I go, yeah, cool, fine. Like, because I've never been that, like, I've never been a kid person. This is why my friends think it's hilarious that I am now with a man who has 2 kids, because they're like, Joel, you hate kids. And I'm like, I know. I don't hate Taylor and Fletcher, I love them both, but I think that's also because they're older. They're like easier. If they were like 3 and 7, that would be a different matter. If I met Keegan years ago, I think I would have struggled with that because I don't know how to, it's not that I hate children, I just don't know how to talk to them or be around them. Fatherhood does not come naturally to me. So yeah, and I've never wanted my own child. So yeah, I do feel sad for my parents because I'm like, I would love for them to experience being grandparents. But then I go, well, I can't live my life for other people. I can't live my life for them. Because someone said, I think I made a reel about this, and some ridiculous person commented going, well, have you asked your parents? Have you asked Keegan's kids? Because maybe they would like a sibling. I was like, sorry, I'm not having a child for the benefit of my parents or for the benefit of Keegan's kids or for the benefit of anyone. Like, am I being wrong in that? Like, that person to me, I was like, you are literally, you're probably clinically insane for suggesting that, because that is completely the wrong reason to have a child. You should surely want to have a child if you want to have a child. Anyway, it just baffled me that they were essentially saying, have you asked your parents? Have you asked Keegan's kids? No, because it's none of their business. Who plays the piano behind you? Keegan, not I. I did have piano lessons when I was a kid, when I was about 4 or 5, and then I gave up. Me and Mum were speaking about that recently, actually. She said, I gave up, and the piano teacher said, I think he's frustrated because he sees his brothers who were playing piano as well, who were a lot better than me because they've been playing longer, and he compares himself to them and he's getting frustrated because he's not as good as they are, but he hasn't realised that they've put in loads of work. I think that's why, because now I wish I kept going with piano. But Keegan's only been playing piano since the pandemic and he's really good. He will say otherwise, but he is good. He can read music. He's taught himself to read music and play, and yeah, he's no Chekhov, no, that's a playwright. Tchaikovsky, he's a musician, but he's really, really good. So, yeah. As an introvert, how do you meet new people? Hun, when you find out, please tell me. I have no idea. Any introvert will probably relate to this, and especially an introvert who wants to make friends but also doesn't. As someone who's moved up north in their 30s, all my friends and family are down south. How do you make friends? At the same time, I'm like, I do not want to make friends. I want to spend time by myself. And it's like the complete opposite feeling. And it's like, how can these two things be true at the same time? On the one hand, I'm lonely and I want to make friends. On the other hand, I do not want to make friends and I want to stay at home by myself. Tell me that. Like, it makes no sense. So I don't really know. For me, friendships just have to occur naturally. You can't force a friendship. So all of my friends have happened naturally. Like, if I've just seen someone repeatedly, like, for example, Vero, my friend she was an Orange Theory coach. I went to her classes every morning, like for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then we just got chatting and we became really good friends. Or introducing to a friend of a friend. So Drew introduced me to Lucy, who then became my housemate, and I bought a house there. She's one of my best friends. So it has to happen sort of naturally. So I don't know how to meet new people really. And to be quite honest, I'm struggling because I'm like, I also don't want to make any new friends, but I also do. I spoke a bit about this in the other video, a Q&A, but said, can you talk more about how you handle the struggle of being gay and Christian? Do you know what? I can honestly say it's not a struggle anymore. It used to be. And again, maybe I feel like I do want to do a series of videos about like being a gay Christian, because I think there are lots of people that follow me that really struggle with it and that can relate to it and they want to talk about it, and I want to open up a space where we can all chat about it. But I'm just a bit of a wuss because I'm like, I know I'm gonna get backlash from gay atheists and backlash from conservative Christians who think that gay people are gross. So I just know that like it's gonna cause like, and I just don't know if I have the mental capacity to do that, but I feel like the good outweighs the bad and I need to do it. Anyway, it's not a struggle for me anymore because I know in my heart of hearts that my belief is right, and not in an arrogant way, but I know that God loves me and God made me exactly as I am. I know that me being attracted to men is not a deficiency. I've not been taken over by a demon. I've not done something wrong. Christians love to throw around the phrase a sin issue. Oh, it's a sin issue. If you just sort out the sin in your life, you'll be straight. No, like I was made this way and there is nothing wrong with me being gay. Like God literally made me that way. So if he made me that way, why would it be a mistake? So I am firmly, like I 100% know that that is the case because I believe that's what God has told me and I just feel it in my body. And I believe that the issue is with the church and the Christians. And not to say it's with like, I feel like people, when I criticize Christians, I think people maybe get offended because they think I'm criticizing like Jesus and the religious aspects of it, like of the religion or the faith. But no, I'm criticizing the human beings because I believe Jesus loves me as I am. I don't have an issue with that. I have an issue with the human beings, the Christians who cherry pick which verses they pay attention to. It's like, oh, okay, so you're really angry about gay people and you really think it's a sin. So why aren't you also like railing against liars and people lying? Why aren't you calling people out when they tell lies? No, because there's no such thing as a white lie, is there? So even if you catch someone telling a little white lie or a really big lie, why aren't you calling them out? And also it says in the Bible about not eating shellfish. Why aren't you calling them out? But then they have all sorts of excuses to go, oh, that's the Old Testament. That's cultural law. That's not, No. That's just, I don't know. I just have issues with it. But the issues I have are with Christians and how they behave. It's not with me being gay and Christian because I'm like, I have a great relationship with Jesus. So yeah, I'm like, actually, that's a them problem. It's not a me problem. You are super talented and easy on the eyes. Thank you. A guest role on a BBC or ITV soap or series in the future? Yes. I'm putting that out into the universe. Yes. That is what I've always wanted. As many of you guys know, if you've been here a long time, I started out in acting. I've always wanted to be an actor. I went to drama school. I went to the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art, or RADA for short. I took a break to focus on YouTube, and now I'm trying to get back into it again. It is tough. It's a really tough industry. There's so many people that want the same thing. They want to be actors. In some ways, it's never been a better time to get back into acting because even just 10 years ago, it was basically just a few TV channels and a few films. Now, with all the streaming platforms, there's so much content being cast, which is amazing, but it's still so difficult. There are so many actors. And also when you've had a bit of a break and your CV is a bit bare, I think casting directors are a little bit like, I'm just gonna go with this person who's had a bit of a fuller CV. So yeah, I'm not even getting the chance to audition at the minute, which is really tough. So it's just about fighting my way down, breaking down doors. I'm emailing casting directors, producers, all sorts, just to try and put myself out there. But yeah, that is what I want ultimately, is to get into acting. So if you know anyone, or if you're a casting director watching, give me a chance, yeah? Just give me a self-tape and I'll do it for you. When is the Happy Healthy Homo podcast coming? Yes, so that is coming soon, guys. Where would you like to travel to for a 3-day vacation in England specifically? Do you know what? The next place in England I'd like to go is Harrogate, I think. Me and Keegan went to meet my agents in Harrogate for a meal. They were up watching a show of one of their other clients in Harrogate, and that's about 45 minutes or an hour away from here. So we went there for the meal, and that's all I saw of it, just driving, parking, walking to the restaurant. it was so nice, and I'd love to explore Harrogate, so I think that's next on my list. How would you argue for and against someone looking to get into a relationship? Oh, I don't think I would have arguments for or against. I would just say, if it's what you want, go for it. Like, I knew before meeting Keegan that I was ready for a long-term relationship. I'd never had one up until that point, but there were times in the past where I knew deep down that I just wanted, like, fun. I just wanted someone special in my life. I just wanted to go on dates and someone to go to the cinema with, and someone to grab food with, things like that. So just know what you want. The pros, I guess, of it are you can start building a life with someone. But even that said, I think you can only start doing that maybe a while into the relationship, can't you? Because it's like, you can't be dating someone for 2 months and start building a life with them, because that's still early days. So I don't know. The cons, I suppose, are if you make decisions like I did, where you sacrifice your life and London and moving up north, then that side of your life is over. So it's like, make the most of it. Don't wish your time away. I think if I could change anything, it would be not to wish my time away when I was single. But not that I miss being single at all. But yeah, I'd say just relax, man. Just chill out and just go with the flow and just know what you want. You talk about moving house. What do you want in a new home? I think the main thing is actually the back garden, I think. The back garden here is very, very small, and it's big enough for some people. I think having 2 dogs, especially Ava, who just loves running, I think I would love to get a house with a really big back garden, like acres of land, so she can go running. And I would like a big enough garden where I could have like a section where I grow vegetables, a section where there's some plants, and go down some stairs and go into a seating area and the fire pit, and then over there is a pond. And like, I just like these different sections. I'm getting more and more green fingered, guys, as I'm getting older. I'm loving being a plant dad. I bought a tree, as some of you guys know, and I want to buy some more trees. So yeah, I would like to be able to get into gardening. I actually sent Keegan some houses last night, and he was like, why have you sent me like a 19-bed manor house? And I was like, because we need 19 bedrooms. He was like, no, we don't. I would like a slightly older property, I think, just because I absolutely love living in a house with loads of history in it. But now that I've lived in this house, which is lovely and like all done and modern and flat, straight walls, 90-degree angles, it is really, really nice. So if I could get the mix of both, where it was like, had sort of the home comforts of a modern interior, but with an old historic home, whilst also keeping some historic features, yeah, that would be ideal. In general, what time do you get up and what time do you go to bed? What time do we get up and go to bed? Come here. That was really bossy. Come here.
I'm eating a biscuit.
Am I bossy?
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Don't ask me a question and then...
what time do you get up and what time do you go to bed?
10:30, 11, bed. Up between, well, I get up anytime between 6:30, 7.
Not recently. Not in the last month.
Not in the last month. 7:30. 7.
7. Well, recently I've been getting up no problem at 7, 7:30. But I said to Keegan, as the mornings get darker, as we go into winter, I will need to delay that till 8:30. I just basically like to get up with the sun-ish.
I've yet to see you get up at 4 AM in the summer.
No. Oh, if you see yourself marrying Keegan, would you like him to... This is perfect time. I didn't even plan this, guys. Can you come in at 13:07? If you see yourself marrying Keegan, would you like him to propose to you, or would you do it? I think we've discussed this. I would probably want Keegan to propose, and I know you've told me you think you would like to be the one to propose.
I would do the proposing. Control freak.
Control freak. And I, as someone who hates making decisions, I'm relieved by that, because that would stress me out.
Your battery's dying.
Oops. Can you share any future plans or goals for your YouTube channel? Well, there aren't really any. Like, of course, I would love to grow in subscribers. I'd love to hit 100,000 subscribers on this channel. I think currently at the time of filming, I'm on about 80,000. So I know I'm on the road to 100K. That means I'll get my little YouTube plaque, and I've got one for the Joel and Leah channel, and then I'll have one for my solo channel, and it'll be lovely. But yeah, it's like, the subscriber goals are a bit of a boring, superficial goal, aren't they? As I said in another video, I would like to get a bit better, invest a bit more time, effort and energy into the equipment that I'm using, getting slicker shots, improving my editing skills. But even as I say that, I'm like, I just don't even know if that would happen. Like, I don't know, like, do you know what I mean? When something is easy, it's like, why would you make it harder for yourself? And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I know many of you, when I spoke about that, were like, no, like, it's fine the way it is. I like things the way they are. So yeah, I would like to experiment with a few more ideas and have series on this channel. Do you know what I mean? These sorts of vlogs, Q&As and just vlogs of my life, they will always be a part of this channel and they will never stop. However, I would like to add in some sort of series. So for example, like I said earlier in the video, a gay Christian series. I would then like to add in, I don't know, maybe there's a food series or something, or I haven't even thought this through, this is just coming off the top of my head. Or like Exploring the North series, North versus South series, and maybe me and Keegan can go head to head in North versus South challenges. And so it's like, oh, one gay Christian video a month, one challenge video per month, and then the rest are vlogging videos. The final question, I swear I read a question about books, but I've not. Anyway, I'll come on to the books. So this is the second from last question. Did you get Era's World Tour tickets? Yes. So the Era's World Tour is Taylor Swift's World Tour. If you've been living under a rock and you don't know, yes, I managed to. So weirdly, they did the sale in such a stupid way. Basically, you had to get a code. You had to register your interest. They sent a code to like thousands of people, or tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, but not everyone. So I got placed on a waiting list. I didn't get a code, so I couldn't book tickets. So the tickets got released and I just couldn't book them. They were like, you're on the waiting list. And I was like, this is so stupid. It should just be first come, first serve. I think it was to protect the servers of the ticket websites, where they went, we can't, because I think when they got released in America, they crashed all the websites because millions of people were trying to buy tickets. So I think it was to protect the websites, but then it just made fans of Taylor Swift not be able to buy tickets. So the only thing left to do, which was a hack from my friend and business coach Laura, she was like, I've seen this thing on TikTok where if you call the stadiums and ask them for the hospitality tickets, they've got some available. They're much more expensive, but they're available. And basically all the sort of seated tickets in the main arena are owned by the ticket companies, but the boxes, the hospitality boxes in the stadiums, are being sold by the stadiums. So by the time I found out that information, the Liverpool arena had sold out, the Cardiff arena had sold out. There were still some tickets for London Wembley, but guys, when I tell you the price of them, I just want to weep. I mean, they're not as expensive as I've seen. Some people in America have paid like $1,000 for a ticket. We paid £550 each for these tickets. But you know what? There's no other artist other than S Club 7 who I'm seeing in October. There's no other artist that I want to see. Like, as you guys know, I'm not a big music fan. I'm not into music. My worst question, and thank you for none of you asking this question. I hate when people go, what sort of music do you like? I don't know, Taylor Swift. I just listen to the radio, pop music. Like, I know songs, but I don't listen to music religiously. So yeah, Taylor Swift is the only artist really that I'd want to see live. So I'm like, you know what? I know my friends who go to Lady Gaga, Beyonce, they go to Ariana when she's been on tour, they go to this band, that band. Like, they've probably spent thousands and thousands of pounds over their lifetime watching gigs. Like, I haven't. I can't tell you the last time. Well, other than Pink, I went to see Pink a few months ago. That was because our friends Anthony and Peter were going to Pink, so we were like, yeah, we'll go. Other than that, I've not been to a gig in as long as I can remember, since I was a kid probably. So I'm like, you know what? It is a lot of money, but when do I ever go to watch, you know, a pop star? And she's my favourite pop star of all time, the greatest. Oh, wait. Hello. Oh my gosh, guys. I'm mortified. My window was open and he could hear me talk about Taylor Swift, the Postman. Anyway, I've got a live plant, guys. I know what this is. I bought a plant. One of my plants arrived yesterday, and this is another plant. Ooh. Oh my gosh, she's gorgeous. Yes. Now, she is, I can't pronounce the name, like Icodium petra. I saw her for sale for like £140 or something on this like plant website, which is a really good website, and they emailed me to say we've got this new plant in. She's got beautiful green and orange and red leaves. But I was like, £140? No way. So I found the name of the plant and I put it into eBay, and I got this for 15 quid or something like that, £13 I think it was. It's a lot smaller. The other one was a lot bigger, but I was like, I can grow her myself. So yeah, little hack. Some of these websites that sell plants and they're really bougie. I'm not going to name and shame any of them because I don't want people to think I'm shaming them, because I think they're great websites and I've used them to buy gifts for other people. But the markup on the plants is insane. So anyway, final question, which I don't have the screenshot of it, but people always ask me about books. And basically, when it comes to books, guys, the only book that I can recommend at the moment, actually I've got another one there, but I'm obsessed with the Akatar series. Some of you will know because I've spoken about this before, and you'll recognize the books because I've pretty much shown them all off, maybe on Instagram, maybe not on YouTube. But I started this because my friend Cherry, I went shopping with Cherry probably in February or something. We went to Sheffield, we went to Meadowhall. I wasn't looking for any more books, and she grabbed this off the shelf and she was like, I'm reading this at the moment. I haven't finished it, but I'm loving it. You need to buy it. And I was thinking at the time, I don't need another book. Like, I'm not going to enjoy it. It's about fairies. I'm like, I'm not into it. But you know what? I was like, I trust Cherry. I'm just gonna get it. So it sat on my shelf for a few weeks, and then I picked it up and I could not stop reading it, guys. It's so good. So I've said this before, but it's not about fairies like Tinkerbell fairies. It's about fairies like they look like humans, or some are monsters, some are like some can turn into like animals like wolves and winged beasts, and others are just like really dark, like things like Voldemort, things like that look a bit like that. So it's that kind of fairies, and it's just a really, really great series of books. And so far in the series, there's only 5 books. I think she is writing more, but I'm currently on the last one that's currently out. So I'm really, really hoping that she brings out another one soon, but I feel like it's going to be a while. So I'll be devastated when I have no more of these to read, because the luxury of this has been like, when I knew I was enjoying this first one, I was like, I've got 4 more. This one, the smallest one, was a bit annoying. A Court of Frost and Starlight. That was annoying. I mean, they call it a novella, don't they? That's 4 novels and a novella, but I'm like, I feel like it was a cash grab from Sarah J Maas. And I won't criticize Sarah J Maas because she has brought us this wonderful world, but I'm just like, what was the point in this? Like, I want more. I feel like she probably rushed it to get it out to earn money on it, which I can't blame her. Like, get your coin, girl. But seriously. The other book that I read, so before reading this final one, I was like, you know what? I'll break up the series and I'll read something different. And I chose this. I found this in my local supermarket in Tesco for, I think, £5. I think it was £4 actually. Coming to Find You by Jane Corrie. Now, my cousin Emma, shout out to Emma, she recommended Jane Corrie books, and she wasn't wrong. This was really, really good. I read this probably in less than a week. Basically, if you're interested, it's about a girl who, all you know at the start of the book is that her parents, well, her mum and her stepdad got murdered in front of her by her stepbrother, and he's now gone to jail. So she is escaping all the press, and she goes to her other family home where they had a holiday house in Devon. So she goes to the house and she like tries to take cover there, but the press find out that she's there. And throughout the story, it sort of flits back between the 1940s with who else lived in this holiday home and her story, and they intertwine at a certain section. And yeah, the review at the front here says deliciously dark. I couldn't put it down. And it's just really good. You can run away from your life, but you can't run away from murder. So yeah, there's lots of murder and death in here, but it's not too dark. It's just like the right amount of dark. And it's also, I love that it was set in 1941 during the war. I just love that period of time. When I've read, like some of you guys know, I read The Clockmaker's Wife that was set during the war, and I just loved that 1940s period. So yeah, that was really good. I thoroughly recommend, and a very cheap read as well. Anyway guys, that concludes the Q&A. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you haven't been too bored, and I hope you've enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed chatting to you guys. Don't forget, if you want more videos from me, I do have my membership club available. So the VIP tier is $3.99 a month, which is less than a coffee at Starbucks. So consider becoming a member if you'd like some bonus exclusive members only videos, and also subscribe if you're new here. I post videos every single week. Hope you're doing really well, and I'll see you soon. Bye.